Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads, and as always, welcome back to our Around the Hearth discussions. This time, we're starting into our Sleuth-tember, which is our kind of investigative. It doesn't have to be no combat, but it's not combat-focused games. It's really focused around that investigation and figuring things out and stuff like that. So, with that being the case, we are going to be also carrying over a tradition that seemed to have cropped up this year of taking last month's theme and kind of building off of it into the next month's theme. So that means we're taking a little bit of the spooky boo, kind of not necessarily full-on Lovecraftian, but kind of spooky, or just sprinklings of Lovecraftian or cosmic horror type of stuff into a paranormal investigation type of game. So that's the idea.
Spooky boo is, I love it.
Spooky boo.
That's, it was like right up there with Scooby-Doo Spooky Boos.
Yes.
1, 2, spooky boo.
But
Okay.
Moss, he had the Lord of the Rings game channel. Shouted out like last month.
I think I remember.
all right, am I back?
There,
Oh, I hear you now.
hear you.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna leave. I don't think it was my camera, but I'm gonna leave it off.
Sounds
So
good.
your audio just shot out for a second there. But
Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do. Well, viewers, we'll see what we can do for y'all getting into this month. Hopefully, we'll be able to get through it. There's lots of notes, so maybe we can kind of keep the recordings quicker so that we can hope my internet doesn't go weird and stuff. I'm not sure if it's my computer or if well, part of it's the computer, because that's why you're not seeing Discord right now. So you can let us know if you like this more just basically podcast and showing you the Excalidraw. If you do like that, we might kind of shift over to that and just do that for y'all. But right now, we're looking at doing The Boys Are Back in Town. So we're obviously taking inspiration from from Thin Lizzy's The Boys Are Back in Town, and for some reason the recording isn't even following the movements I'm making with that. So, okay, on Excalidraw. So, it's audio only this time, people. Just totally audio only. This is now an actual podcast, not just a vodcast. So it is just a podcast right now. You're finding out in real time with us. All right, that means that we'll be descriptive, and we'll have to read out more of the stuff for y'all. And I guess we might put out on our Discord. We may put out the Excalidraw image for people. That may be what we do. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, because we need to actually do that. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to get any of the recording done. So, what are you thinking? Well, I think I'll start this time with Dan's introductions and announcements, and then we'll do what we did last time about shifting around who actually gets to start, since we're all old hat at this now. So,
Perfect.
Let's see. All right. I am Adam L. Spain with the Inn of Planar Crossroads. You can find us at innofplanarcrossroads.com or theiopc.com. Either one of those work. If you would like to keep up with us on those, it is perfectly available to you. It has all of our links to our social medias, especially to our support ones. If you want to support this channel, you get access to our members-only Discord that lets you pop in over there. And you only have to support one time to get access to it. And it gets you access to all the different things that we're doing. So, might be worth it for you. Might like it. But right now, that's mainly what I've got going on, aside from, I guess, trying to figure all this out. So, that's me. What about you, Dan?
Hey everybody, Dan from Avenue Studios. Check us out, avenuestudios.media, and join us for our live games Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are coming to the end of Eldamon and already in preparations for our next campaign, so I hope to see you there. We almost died last session, barely made it thanks to chat, so I hope to see you there. That's me.
Alright. And then Skrat.
It is I. And I am ill. I'm actually glad the cameras aren't on this time because I just took my medicine and it tastes awful. And I'm just struggling to keep my face straight.
If Adam in post was, a very motivated and well paid, YouTuber, he would make sure to put in a sick-looking squirrel going bleh or something.
Anyway, I am Skrat, the sick squirrel this time. I am over on YouTube making videos about story-related things, lots of TTRPG focused stuff, but I do like to focus on the story side of that, which is the obvious storytelling, plot points, that kind of thing, world building, character designs, and stuff like that. But I do get into TTRPG reviews as well, and as of recording this, not at the same time, but this week I am working on the video of my experience I had at Gen Con. It was my first, not only my first time at Gen Con, my first convention experience in this hobby. So, go big or go home, I guess. And I got the con crud and everything, man. I got the full... No, I can't say I had the full experience. I have still never played a TTRPG at a physical table.
Ah!
What? You went to a con,
Even though I went to Gen Con.
It's because he's such a nice guy. He was being a floater in case any of the tables got filled for the other awesome people we know.
Too busy spending all my money on artwork.
That happens also.
Isn't the eclipse... Isn't there an eclipse in 2026 that comes right over Arkansas? If so, we should just have both of y'all write off your expense to come and stay at our... Well, we got to get it ready, like a guest house ready, but like at the guest house on the ranch. And then, then we could actually have Skrat play at a physical table.
For a
it takes an eclipse, but we'll make it happen.
If it's at an eclipse, we gotta do like a Cthulhu game.
Yes, total lunar eclipse 26 on March 3rd and a partial lunar on August 28th, according to my search.
That'd be decent weather.
Yeah. It's it's a business expense. It's a business expense.
Oh, absolutely.
Networking.
Yeah. 100%. So was Gen Con.
Yeah, dude.
All right. So, that's Skrat from the Squirrel Plays then. Which means we're done with Dan's introductions and announcements. This is Adam's audio cue to shift over to Levi's Spotlight. Now, I say it's Adam's cue to shift over to Levi's Spotlight, but it's technically Skrat's cue because he brought this person up. So who are we shouting out, Skrat?
You just asked for a name. It is Swords and Stones, and I know him only because he shows up in comments and stream chats. He's been a subscriber for a hot minute. He's been around a good while, as far as my channel goes, hanging around. And he's got his own webpage here. Now, I was thinking he was this other guy that had a blog that I'd read a little bit of. He had a very wholesome post about basically just getting along at the table, and it was that guy was an elderly gentleman and was taking a stab at the old farts who wouldn't let people play the way they wanted to play. So, but different guy. This guy, he says he's first ventured into the realm of RPGs in 1980. So he's been at it a little longer than I've been alive, but not by a whole lot. So he's got his own little thing called Swords and Stones. That's his channel name, and I think his own game too that he has. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what he's got going on. But he's a nice guy. He, like I said, he likes to be supportive, show up, drop comments, hang in the stream. He's been watching the Moss and Stone stuff here and there when he can. Seems like a decent fellow, and he's got some content over on his YouTube. Some reviews, I believe, if you'd like to go check him out.
Oh,
He likes to make the occasional post pinging everybody that he follows and watches.
Yeah.
He has, it reminds me of kind of the old school chain email newsletter thing. He's like, here's all the cool people I'm following. He posts it. It's like, yep.
Ah, that's awesome.
I was like, only the people subscribe to you see that. I like the idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And right now he has 59 subs, so it'll be easy to get him up to 100. You know, if you want to.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
All right.
And an elephant balancing on something. D&D balance. Oh boy, I bet that's a good one. I'll leave that one where it is.
Impossible.
All right. Well, I guess that's our Levi's spotlight then. So, we've got Dan's introductions and announcements done. We got Levi's spotlight done. It's time to grab your preferred beverage, as we already reviewers, grab your preferred beverage and join us around the hearth in Councils of Kane as we discuss The Boys Are Back in Town. Skål.
Our beverage of choice or necessity in Skrat's case.
Yeah.
I drank enough tea to drown a whale at this point. Anyway.
Yeah, Glee come in and be like, "What?" Smell it like, "What's in this tea?" And you look at her all sloshily, like, "I was like, they said it was Irish tea."
It's the good tea.
All right. So, we've got The Boys Are Back in Town. We're going to be using, like we said, viewers, the song "The Boys Are Back in Town" by Thin Lizzy. And if let me see, Skrat's got a bunch of stuff, and then Dan built off of Skrat. So why don't we let Skrat talk about his stuff? What's he got going on?
Yeah.
Talk about
It's kind of a mess. I wasn't sure.
Dude, it
I follow it.
It looked like a detective's board. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was very inspirational.
So, where to start? So, kind of an old school setting. The 20s, gangsters, Thompsons, early automobiles was kind of the setting, but there also has to be a time lapse here. So I guess technically it would be a little bit before. Idea is, I'll throw a lot at you here. The party would play as a group. They were all in their past detectives, is the thing. They were all on the same force, or maybe adjacent precincts, however that works. But they all knew each other, they all worked together, and they're all pretty darn good at what they did. There was a case that they couldn't solve that broke them. And they all just kind of collectively quit, went their separate ways. So the case that broke them, I guess this is the order we're going to go in, was the murder of Shelley Thomas. The name means nothing. It was just random that I came up with it. So
Perfect.
Yeah. So she was found in a room, like no windows, just one door to get in there, but she had boarded it up and nailed it shut on her side. So like no way out, no way in. But yet somehow somebody had gotten in without breaking the boards or anything. There was no sign of forced entry, and had crushed her throat. Basically, that's what happened. So they couldn't ever figure it out. Excuse me. That was the one that got away, and that did them in. So we'll pivot. So Shelley was a worker at a local factory. No idea what the factory made. Doesn't matter. You can put your own spin on it there, I guess. But the idea is the factory was a front for some cult leaders, or cultists, I guess would be the right way to say that. And they were trying to open a portal into the bad side of things, whatever you want that to be. Could be portal to hell, portal to the other side, whatever you got going on. The dark stuff coming out that they wanted to do. And and I can't think of the name, but it kind of reminds me of that bit in Fallout 4. There was that business, really wealthy family that was digging up a couple sites, and they were actually a bunch of cultists trying to do some kind of ritual, you find out.
Wow. You might want to know that better.
Yeah,
Cabots.
I had the name right there on the tip of my tongue, but anyway. So they were trying to do that, so what happened some years back, this is when the party was still on the force and detectives, they did open the portal, and things kind of went the wrong way. An accident happened, bad things came through, kind of destroyed the factory, set everything on fire, and in the chaos they killed pretty much everyone, and then the ones that they didn't kill, they took over and started controlling. And those, so not everybody at the factory was in on this, right? It was just a handful of people. So the ones that were in on it are the ones that got controlled. And they looked the same for the most part. Like, you know, they still retained their original appearance, but their eyes got a little not right, is the way I've been describing it. So that's where the wild-eyed boys comes from in the song.
Yes.
That is what the detectives named them, because when they started investigating, they realized these people were acting a little weird, and they're like, yeah, there's some of those wild-eyed boys, you know, they've been a little wild-eyed since the accident, but they all hang together for some weird reason, like even though they weren't normally friends, but now they're always together. So so that kind of, that's when, you know, the detectives slash players got kind of in on things. And Johnny, you know, that boy Johnny, or whatever the song goes, that's the, I just think of him as a big one, like really muscular, so he can be the BBEG, maybe, you know, the leader of the cultists. But
Yes.
so what happened was Shelley Thomas was picking up on this whole thing. She was figuring out what the cultists were doing, or that there was cultists to begin with, was spying on them, trying to get some information to take to the cops, and then the accident happened. And when things got pulled through the portal, she acquired some strange powers, like fire powers, because that was just whole, hey, you know, when I said she was hot, or when I said she was cool, she was red hot, that part of the song. Okay, yeah, she's got the fire powers. All right. So Johnny's the one that comes and kills her in the locked up room, and then she does slap him, because, you know, that chick that used to dance a lot slapped him in the face. And she had her fire power, she was still trying to use it. So Johnny has like a burnt handprint on his face where he got slapped. You know, and this kind of what led the party to know that Johnny was in on this. They just could not prove it. His weird magic-y evil powers let him creep through the door. So anyway, party splits. They can't solve the case, and the boys end up leaving the city too. And what they really left for was to go acquire relics and maybe blood samples. I don't know what they need to make a better, more stable portal. And they have made sure the rubble and like remnants of that factory never got cleaned up, because they still needed it where it was, since that was kind of their anchor point for that portal. So this is where I was saying there's a bit of a time skip. Years pass. It could be 5, could be 10, whatever. It could just be a couple. Well, the boys come back to town. They got all their stuff. So that's your inciting incident, right? You know, the boys are back. The wild-eyed boys are back. And that gets around to the players. And they all decide to come back. And this is where the players actually get to be the party and the story. So they're trying to put all this together while avoiding cops at the same time, because they're no longer part of the force. So they got 2 factions they're dealing with, essentially. 3, I guess, if you want to count civilians, but
They're just red shirts anyways.
they're just red shirts. So yeah, they're trying to put all this together, solve that mystery, and they don't know it, but like also trying to stop the wild-eyed boys from opening a portal that Cthulhu might come through. Or something nasty. Could be a big monster, world-ending monster. Could be a bunch of demons. Who knows?
I love it.
Yeah.
I will say I don't have any items planned for this one.
Well, Dan's got 3, so when we get there, you know, it'll work
At least
out.
ideas. Yeah.
Okie
I was
dokie.
thinking originally Shelly had something, but then I was just like, nah, just her being a witness seemed good enough to go get her. But I don't know. We might find something.
Okie dokie.
Maybe her bones are the key.
Ooh,
Oh.
that could be fun. Ooh, because she was touched by whatever came through.
Bones of
Maybe
the
something
witness.
she was wearing is what stopped it and gave her powers instead or something.
I did one of the items I had just thrown out was I had added a friend of hers who never got over her death, but she got a pendant from Shelly.
Ooh.
I thought it could be
All right.
something.
All right. Okay, Dan. What do you got?
Oh man. Well, I was just riffing off of Skrat's ideas, just copying his homework, adding things. What do we look at the world building?
Yeah,
First.
we're kind of laying out what you guys got to go with, and then the world building,
Okay.
and then we'll flesh it out for the viewer, for the listeners, in the other three. So there we go.
Sounds good. All right. So overall, I just was looking at adding detail to Skrat's storyline. So I threw out calling the factory, doing it being a loomworks, and calling it Elden Loomworks after like one of the older families in town, and it was booming during World War One. Maybe because they've been making deals as the oldest family in town for a while. But as World War One ended, all that horror is ending. They're also losing contracts. It kind of started to dry up, which was what led them to attempt the ritual, which led to the place burning down and finally closing shop for a while, along with the murder. And I had Johnny being one of the sons. Johnny was part of the Eldon family. So he's coming back, and he's got an idea to sell stuff because it's the Roaring 20s now, is what I was thinking we're talking about. So a few years after the war, Prohibition's still up, but he some reason can make really good, like anytime he puts his hands to business, it goes well. So he starts bringing jobs back to the town maybe, and that's when the players start hearing and figuring out, oh wait, that's Johnny. And he's actually reopening Elden Loomworks, and it's starting to boom, selling silks, lingeries, vanity items for the Roaring Twenties, and it brings a mix of hope and shame to the town, so you could have a nice, depending on who you talk to, they like seeing the jobs come into the town, and other people are like, yeah, but he makes cabaret dresses and like sexy lingerie.
How dare he?
Do we want our town known to do that? So I thought that was fun. And then some other locations I thought possible. I was just playing with it, going with Prohibition. I had some called the Dapper Stag, could be the local barber shop. But it, especially law enforcement used it, and politicians, but it also secretly has a speakeasy in the basement since we're in the midst of Prohibition. And then I threw out Grace Memorial Chapel, that it's the local chapel, but it's also the coroner's office because it's a small town. And the reverend there is also the town coroner. So then that gives some possible NPCs to each location of Sam Booker, also known as the Razor. He runs the barbershop and the speakeasy. Reverend Elias Crow, who's both reverend and town coroner. And then I threw out the friend of Shelley, who never kind of recovered from Shelley's death, and now she's a dancer at the cabaret, the small cabaret in town, so kind of become a working girl in her pain. So that gives hopefully some plot hooks. I had something with Clara having a secret, and she's being threatened, so that's something they could pursue potentially, because really our main hook is the boys are back in town. I mean, that is the hook. So I was just kind of poking at, well, what's some possible threads they could follow? Missing persons happening because they're prepping for this, and also some missing people who are opposing reestablishing the factory, and the Eldons coming back into power in town, because there could be opposing politics within town and stuff. And then I thought for putting a nice timeline on it, another plot hook would be Johnny is planning a big celebration with the finished new wing of the factory, which is where the new portal is going to be. And it has to be, the celebration is at speaking of eclipses, like at a very specific time that's coming up very soon. And of course they have to figure out that the celebration is actually the opening of the portal, and the ritual has to be done at this time. It's a good cover for it, and they may need a lot of blood or something.
I was wondering, like, how could it work, or would it be frustrating to the players, like, if you didn't tell them this was some supernatural stuff? It's like, oh yeah, it's a murder mystery. It's also about a portal to hell, you know? Just sprinkle that in there. Because, like, it would be a very cool twist in the right circumstances, right? But I could also see in a TTRPG where you're having to solve all these things and you're kind of led to believe, like, oh, no, these are natural means, and then, you know, that gets taken out from you. So I guess if you played your cards right, you could make it not frustrating.
Yeah. My first thought is know your table, because
yeah,
I would have a blast with that, to have the rug pulled out from under me. And then there's that, for me, but this is my personal play style, the idea of there's a moment there where the player is just as surprised as the character he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
I love those moments personally. So that's really cool.
Definitely a know your table.
Yeah, because I could see someone get like upset about that. I think they're crazy, but I get it.
Yeah, it's like, on one hand, I can understand well, how the heck was I supposed to put this together? You know, you're just bringing in Cthulhu, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, how were you supposed to figure that out? That's why this is the way it is. It's why your character's so confused.
You know, I mean, like with a good TV show, if you start to sprinkle it in a few sessions, you probably, most of the time, I think you could pull. I personally think you could pull it off, because if it's a little tease and that's like, no, it's nothing. But then it keeps happening, like dreams.
Especially with what you were saying about them, like just the name Elder or something like that, and then the fact, he's always been oddly good, like with these business. Like somebody thinks he's made a deal with the devil. It's like, you have now put that out. It's like, okay, this is TTRPG, so anything can go.
Yes, right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Ooh, satisfying when you see the players all of a sudden rewind and go, wait a second, ding, 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 ding. Oh, that's so satisfying.
Yeah. He tried to warn us.
Well, speaking of the rewind, I actually think that it would be this, to build off of what you're saying, you guys are going for. I think it might actually be pretty cool if you played this through 2 time periods instead of just one, where you had the 1920s is where you are. So were you thinking it happened in the 20s, and that like the main part they're playing through happens in the 20s? Is what you're thinking?
Yeah, and then the case they couldn't solve was a handful of years prior to that.
Okay.
That's
as I was saying, it could have just been a year or two, or it could be 10 years. Like, no, there's nothing set there.
So it would actually be pretty neat if you did something. Is it Powered by the Apocalypse that has the back and forth? We talked about it before, where you have retroactive things that can happen.
Flashbacks is a mechanic.
Yeah.
Was that Powered by the Apocalypse? That was like Cypher or something.
I mean, I'll double check what you guys talk about.
So it would probably be pretty cool if you start them in one era, and they play the first session in one era, and then you tell them, okay, we're going to skip. Well, you don't even have to play the full session in one era. You can say, we're going to start off, and you can kind of go, not necessarily in media res, but you could have them do the first initial investigation and then say, all right. And you can tell your players, okay, we're going to have a time skip in this one, so don't worry too much when I say this much time passes. So, and then you say, okay, let's go forward now, and you're coming back to town. You can play back and forth with 2 different ones. That would allow you to either, if you want to do a big time gap, then you can say this happens in the turn of the century, 1890.
It's Blades in the Dark.
1900.
Sorry, guys.
Blades in the Dark. Okay.
Blades in the Dark.
So that flashback mechanic thing. But the using the flashback mechanic to your benefit. So you can either start them in the 20s when they're coming back to town, and then have them play through their flashbacks. That would probably be better if they started in the 1920s with the first session, and then when they say, well, did we discover anything during that investigation? Then you cue them and say, that's a good question. Let's play that out.
I like
It'd be kind of cool too, and this might be what you're getting at. If you ran this as a 2-part campaign, and then the first one, like, you really didn't hit at anything supernatural, like they thought this was all going to be grounded, air quotes here for those listening, realistic setting, and of course they would 99% chance not be able to figure out the murder mystery, so they would legitimately think they failed. But you can tell them, like, okay, if you can't solve this, it's not at the end of the world. You still get to play part 2. So like they would go into part 2 thinking they failed, and then they have the big time skip like you were talking about, many years into the future. But they're like, yeah, we were there, we never solved this, we failed it. And it's like, did you?
It would even be interesting. Really? It would even be interesting if the time skip was sizable enough where people are like, is that Johnny or is it his kid? Or is
that would be the major hints, like, wait a minute.
Look, there's a spitting image of his dad.
There's something else going on here.
I guess
it's very cold case too, to all be grizzled old detectives that are bitter.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be the Easy D6 game all over.
Yes. Bunch of grumpy old men.
That was great.
It was. I like that a lot. I do like that a lot. And it makes it fun too, because people have forgotten things. I mean, how do you remember if it was like 40 years ago? And there'll be people, NPCs who care. Why do you care?
And maybe only 1 or 2 of them, if there's 4 players, only 1 or 2 of them is actually stuck around in the town. They've all kind of moved away when it fell apart, and then one of them opened a different business or stuff like that, and they kind of stayed and kept things going in town. But then, they're moving back because they're retiring from their other jobs. So they're going to go home and retire in the pseudo country, and be back in their old stomping grounds. And then they come back, and not long after, this young, very, very muscular, according to Skrat's picture there, like buzzing out of his white pinstripe, very muscular young man comes back who looks just like Johnny, who he says unfortunately died in an accident. And it's a little strange because he seems to be wearing makeup all the time. But, men nowadays, for these big city guys, they get kind of vain. So maybe he got something in the war or something he's trying to cover up.
Nice.
And then it's slowly revealed as that makeup's, you let it slide one time where they see him without the makeup, and he has the exact same scar as Johnny. So, yeah.
That would be a fun. Yeah, that's a good confirmation.
But we're at about 30 minutes, and since we're not really showing off a lot, I can just put it in the background. We can do that. I guess we don't have to show off anymore right now. We can go ahead and go and do Adam, audio cue, Skrat's final question for this one. All right.
Y'all remember what I said last time that I'm going to have to ask every month?
Oh.
Wait. Dang it. No, I don't remember. I do remember you saying that.
How do you make a barbarian in this setting?
Oh, that's right.
It's Johnny.
Yeah.
Well,
That's true.
Johnny may have the strength of a barbarian, but his mind is not his own.
Ah.
It's the bruiser beat cop of the group.
Yeah.
He's just the enforcer.
His billy club is, for some reason, slightly larger than it should be.
Not a lot, just enough where you notice. Yeah, I mean, man. It's prohibition.
A
too.
riot
It could
police
be-
officer, maybe?
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm
Yeah,
always
I was thinking
partial
about
to
the
the farmhand that gets jacked off of raw milk and
Yeah.
raw milk and meat.
I like it.
Man, look, you joke, but I'm going to go on a little tangent here. When I was in machine tool class, there was this guy, just, I think he was only 21, and he was already just total halo haircut because his hairline had receded all the way.
Oh, no.
But he was like 6'8" and just
Holy cow.
big, just large, not like ripped or anything, just big old farm boy. And machine tool class, mills, lathes, CNCs, right? So I'm sitting here on the manual lathe making my part, and he tried to squeeze between the lathe and like this bench on the other side, and it was too small for him. So he moved the lathe because it was inconveniently in his way. Like this is a very large machine for those of you who don't know. And he just casually shoved it out of the way.
Yeah. That functional
not
strength is
explained.
real, man. Everybody goes to the
like,
gym to
okay.
get strong. You just spend some time tossing hay and you'll be fine.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. Did I knock you out of tolerance?" I was like, "I don't know, man." So we'll find out because it's still going.
Whatever you did, it's fine.
Yeah. You improved it.
I love it.
All right. So that's my answer. Big farm dude. I guess Dan's answer was Big Billy
Cop.
Club.
Yeah. And a flask. He's got a flask. That's how he rages. Just Irish
I was-
coffee.
Oh, an Irish cop.
But-
So he can't be too tall then. Has to be a
No,
little
no,
Irishman.
he's the
His
like,
club is
half
almost
of
as big as him or
people's
something.
I think of the riot cop because they're pretty angry, but like, when did those become a thing? Were they?
Not in the 20s
I mean, it's good
necessarily.
enough for the answer, but like, I wonder, did they have the like riot shields and everything way back then?
Well,
50s,
they were made in the
60s,
metal
yes.
back then. Those big old things.
Yeah.
Which is fine for the barbarian.
Yeah.
Shield barbarians are
It's a
fun.
new. It's just a club. It's just a wide club.
Alright.
Technically, they've been around all the time. It's just the term police riot didn't come into vernacular till like the late
Okay.
60s.
Or like specialized equipment.
Right. The rise of specialized units was after World War One, is what this says.
Oh, yeah,
There were some riots in 1925.
that makes
Oh, that's
sense.
in China.
Hmm.
But
Oh no, we got dinged. Oh no.
did
We said China in a video.
Shanghai, just the Shanghai Municipal Police.
Yes, nothing happened at Tiananmen Square.
Nothing.
Nothing whatsoever.
Alright. Well, with that setting off the YouTube algorithm, sweet bot, whatever it is, I guess we're done with this time. So, we hope you have enjoyed. We'll start going into more detail on the ideas and refining them as we go forward. But this was our first podcast about first around the hearth for the Sleuth Timber. So, anything before we get into the outro, boys?
No.
So, as always, we hope you've enjoyed. Check out Swords in
Stones.
Stones.
Right?
Stones. I know.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call it sword and sorcery.
Yeah, Swords in
Castles and
Stones.
bones.
And that is an the letter N between them. So swords in stones. He's got about 50 something, so maybe 100. Might double his thing. That'd be good. On subscribers. Check out also Skrat from his Squirrel Plays on YouTube. Dan from Avenue Studios at avenuestudios.media, which is on YouTube and Rumble, and did y'all start streaming to Twitch or no? I know you talked.
We are
about
for
it.
Eldamon, but we're gonna starting in September we'll have some changes. So YouTube's the best place to go for us now.
Okay. All right. And then Inn of Planar Crossroads at innofplanarcrossroads.com or theiopc.com. Either one of those works. And you can find all our social media and links there, including the ones to support and get access to our Discord. I think that's everything. So as always, have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.
Bye. They can't see us wave.
Yeah.
We wave. Bye.
This content was made possible by travelers and viewers like you. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's happening in September?
Well, we're just making some changes because Chris and I are slowing down, so we'll be YouTube exclusive like Scrap from. Yeah, we're trying to scale back, simplify, just focus in, and some other stuff. I'm gonna do a post in the Discord, hopefully tomorrow. If I get time.
Well, I think
So,
you can
yeah,
always
just kidding.
just mirror post over to Rumble if you want to. You don't have
Right,
to
yeah.
do exclusive to YouTube unless you want to. Unless you can say or exclusive to YouTube.
Well, if I have time, I'll upload it to Rumble. But we're really focusing on the live streams, and we're going to be doing members only live streams and stuff. So we're just trying it out since we're scaling back. Well, we're scaling back YouTube. Not life still is full. You know.
Life is ever full.
Mm.